are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Overboy, and I'm going to be doing my ranking for all 6 movies that were released during Walt Disney Animation Studios' Wartime era. So these are the movies that came out after Bambi in 1942, and were released from 42 to 49 and everything. They're also known as the package film era because they're package films. And all these movies just contain a bunch of animated shorts and stuff. And everything, because Disney was being taken over by Nazis and stuff during World War II, and had really small funding, and a lot of these movies were just barely enough to keep the studio going at that time and everything. And I know a lot of people don't care about these movies. I actually don't really even know anybody that would even say they like these movies or care about them, think that they're anything genuinely good or anything, and everything, which I think is kind of sad, because there is a lot of art that goes into animation and stuff, and I do feel like a lot of that is on display in this movie. This movie does show a lot of potential of what Disney is and everything, and I think a lot of these shorts are really charming and lovable and stuff too. So there are things about each of these movies that I like and everything, but only like 2 or 3 of them I think are really movies that I really enjoy, and only like one of them is one that I grew up with personally, that I felt like was a classic that I watched among the other Disney movies and stuff. But I don't think this era is near as bad as people say it is, so I'm just going to get that out there and everything. But so coming in at number 6 is The Three Caballeros. Now, this one is okay. It's pretty much where during this era and stuff, Walt Disney was going to different parts of America, or South America and Mexico and stuff, for inspiration for these shorts and stuff. And this is pretty much a propaganda movie and stuff and everything. But in this movie, Donald Duck gets a birthday present with 3 gifts, and it's a movie projector, a pop-up book, and a pen to each take Donald on a wild adventure through Mexico and South America, and he learns about their different cultures and stuff. It was an experiment thing that Disney was doing back in that era and everything, and I thought this movie was okay. It's not one of my most favorite Disney movies, though, for sure. There aren't really any segments in here that I think really stand out or that memorable and stuff, and I thought it was okay. Nothing that great, though, to be honest with you. It's definitely one of the more forgettable Disney movies and everything. I don't think it's by far the worst one. I always am entertained when I watch it and everything, but I definitely do not care for this one as much as some other Disney movies. And I think when I get to my overall ranking, this one will be closer to the bottom and stuff, because this is one of the ones that I just felt like is pretty mediocre. Not terrible and everything. I appreciate the artistry that went into the movie and everything. And I think if I would have been alive when this movie came out and stuff, I might have enjoyed it more. But for what it is, The Three Caballeros is just, it's not super great and everything. It's not very memorable, and not an amazing movie or anything. It's okay, like I said. And it's not one that I grew up with either. Like I said, I didn't see this one until after I was an adult either, so I don't have nostalgia for it or anything. I can appreciate the artistry brought into it. I just don't enjoy it as a whole superly that much and everything, to be honest with you. So, The Three Caballeros is number 6. And number 5 is Saludos Amigos. Now, The Three Caballeros is considered kind of a sequel to this movie and everything. And this is another one that blends live action and animation, just like the last movie and everything. And I think this one is not super great either. It does have some good moments and stuff. I really like stuff is with Donald and the llama and El Gacho and Goofy tries on the way of the cowboy and stuff. There are some things in here that I thought were okay. The South American culture stuff was pretty cool in here, and the movie's only 42 minutes long. It's the shortest Disney Animation Studios movie, and it's under an hour, so it barely even qualifies as a movie. I think it's considered one, but it's not like a full-fledged movie. It's just kind of, it is what it is. But it's definitely not like one of the best package films and everything. But it's better than Three Caballeros. Like Three Caballeros is about 30 minutes longer, and I feel like it kind of overstayed and everything. This movie got to the point and got done and over with quicker, and I think that's why it edges out Three Caballeros just by a little bit, because the pacing and stuff isn't as bad on this one, and it does have some fun moments and stuff, if I remember right. And I think this is the one that has the plane, the sequence with the little plane and everything, the little story about the delivery plane and stuff. And I always get these two movies mixed up on a lot of things, because like I said, I've only seen them a couple times and everything, but I think this is the one that has the plane, and I did like that stuff and everything. And like I said, the stuff with Goofy I love, though, because you throw Goofy into anything, and that automatically makes it better for me. I love Goofy. He's one of my favorite Disney characters, and out of Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, he's the one that I love the most. I think part of it is growing up with a Goofy movie and Goof Troop and stuff like that, but I've always just found him to be my favorite and stuff. And also, I'm a big comedy fan, and maybe that's where my love for comedy started, was watching Goofy shorts. But I do love the stuff with him and the donkey in this. I thought they were pretty funny and stuff. So yeah, Saludos Amigos, it's okay, not a super great time, not a masterpiece or anything like that, but it's an okay movie. It's watchable. There are worse Disney movies than this one. There are tons that are way better, but this one's okay. Another one that's not going to be a very high one on that final ranking when I get to it, though. So Saludos Amigos is number 5, and number 4 is Fun and Fancy Free. Now this one I think is pretty good. It's not one of my most favorites out of these. In fact, I don't think it's on the same level as my top 3. The top 3, I think, are all movies that I at least enjoy quite a bit and everything. And like I said, one of these movies I do consider a classic that I rank as one of the ones that I have a lot of nostalgia for, so it's a lot higher on my ranking than it would be most people's. But this one, I think, is pretty good. I like the shorts in here. Bongo, the circus bear wanting to escape to the wild, is pretty fun. It's a pretty fun premise and a pretty fun short and everything. And then you got Mickey and the Beanstalk, and I think that's a really fun retelling of Jack and the Beanstalk with Mickey, Donald, and Goofy and stuff, and it's pretty good and everything. And I always have wondered, like, how the heck are they making white bread look so paper thin and stuff? It's like, not just the animation on that, but it's like, how the heck could y'all eat that kind of bread? It's so freaking small and everything, because they barely are able to get by and stuff at the beginning of the short and everything. But I love that, and I love, like, Jiminy Cricket being in here and is kind of the one that tells the story and introduces the segments and stuff. I thought that was cool, and the giant stuff was pretty cool. And this one it's a fun time. It's not one of the absolute best Disney movies or anything, but it's a fun time, and it was a nice little fun outing as Walt's last time doing the voice of Mickey Mouse too. I thought that was kind of cool too and everything. So, but yeah, this one is alright for what it is. It's not one of my most favorite things ever, but I thought it was okay. So, Fun and Fancy Free is number 4, and number 3 is Make Mine Music. Now this one is one that I really enjoy quite a bit. It has a lot of really awesome segments and stuff in here. You got Peter and the Wolf, which is a fan favorite and everything. I know a lot of people that grew up with this movie always mention that was one of the highlights of the movie and everything. But I also really like different ones. You got Casey at the Bat, which is pretty good. And they actually even did a little short sequel to that one as well. But Casey at the Bat was pretty good. The Whale Who Wanted to Sing at the Met, that one is really good. It has kind of a dark ending and stuff, but it's pretty cool. And my favorite one, Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet, just one of those random Disney shorts that I don't know what the heck they were thinking of when they did this. I don't know if they were high or what, but it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's a really sweet and beautiful short about these two hats that fall in love and everything. They're being sold at the same department store, and they get sold and everything, and they wind up back together because the people who buy them end up together and stuff. It's just a really sweet segment and everything, it's got beautiful animation throughout, though, and great little segments and fun little short stories and everything. And I've always enjoyed this movie, and this is another one that I didn't grow up with. I didn't see it until I was in my 20s and stuff, so it's more of one that I appreciate more for the artistry of the animation and storytelling and stuff. And I feel like it's a lot of fun, though, and everything. And I just love watching animated Disney shorts from back in this time period and stuff, and everything. I every now and then I'll watch different shorts on Disney Plus from this time period, and these movies kind of feel like they're just a culmination of that, and I enjoyed that with this movie. The package film era and stuff is kind of an underrated era for Disney. It's got some movies that are pretty good, and this one I think is definitely one that's pretty exceptional. It has some memorable characters, especially the whale that wants to sing at the Met, the Casey at the Bat character, Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet are really memorable, lovable characters from this movie. And Peter and the Wolf is a really popular segment that's been released on its own outside of the movie and stuff. So, I mean, this movie had some really good moments and stuff in it. I think this one doesn't quite get the credit it deserves. So, Make Mine Music is number 3, and number 2 is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Now, there are a lot of movies, especially from Disney, that I knew a lot of other kids were scared of. I knew kids that were scared of Pinocchio and Sleeping Beauty and all these other movies and stuff, but this is the one that scared me as a kid. It's one of the very few movies that's ever scared me as a kid and everything. The whole sequence with Ichabod running away from the Headless Horseman at the end of it is just absolutely spine-tingling, and every time I watch it, even if I'm in the right mood and I watch it at the right time and everything, if I watch it like late at night or on a rainy night and I have the light off and stuff, it still gives me the chills and stuff, because that evil laugh of the Headless Horseman, the eerie music, the scared look on Ichabod's face and the horse's face too. They're both terrified and stuff, and they're running for their lives and stuff, and the end of it, all they find is his hat and everything. It just, that segment has always just gave me goosebumps, and it's terrifying to me and everything. I've seen the live action Sleepy Hollow movie, and I've always thought that movie was creepy in of itself, but something about this one, it just really creeps me out. Now, everything leading up to that in that part of the movie is alright. The Ichabod segment isn't as memorable as Mr. Toad. I think the Mr. Toad segment is a lot better and everything, personally, in a lot of ways, but I love that ending with Ichabod and Mr. Toad and the Ichabod segment and stuff, the retelling of the Sleepy Hollow. I really like that ending and stuff, so like, I'm kind of mixed on which one is better fully and everything, but I think that as a whole, the Mr. Toad and Wind of the Willows part was a little bit more entertaining. I love how, like, he's accused of stealing this car and everything, and his friends know he's innocent, or his friends come around and everything, and it's just, that one's a pretty good one too. Like both of them are well done and everything, and I think this is another one that's really underrated. It's an underrated movie and everything, and like I said, the Ichabod part just, it creeps me out every time I watch it and everything. Even as an adult, I still get goosebumps and feel creeped out and stuff, and a lot of that just because it takes me back to my childhood and everything. But yeah, this one is okay. So The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad is number 2. And my number 1 favorite Walt Disney Animation Studios Wartime era movie is Melody Time. Now this movie is just absolutely great. This is the one movie from this era that I kind of feel like is a classic. I just absolutely love this movie. There's so many great segments in here, and 2 of my favorite ones are Johnny Appleseed and then Pecos Bill. Both of those segments, they're 2 of the last ones in the movie, and they are just absolutely great. I absolutely love them and stuff. Beautiful animation, great music in here, especially the Johnny Appleseed one. It has some really catchy tunes and stuff, and it's just a really fun segment, and they reused it for the Disney American Legends video that came out back in the early 2000s and stuff, that has shorts of different American legends and stuff. It was one of the ones that was reused and stuff for that. But I really love, like, Pecos Bill too. I think it's a really entertaining story. I was obsessed with the story of Pecos Bill because of this movie for a long time. But there's also other really great ones in here too. Little 2, about the little steamboat. Just absolutely lovable character and lovable story of this little boat that's always getting himself into trouble and has to prove himself and everything. And it's fun. And then you got Once Upon a December Time, absolutely beautiful. Blame It on the Samba, which brings back the Three Caballeros and stuff. There were just a lot of really great moments and stuff in this movie. And this one kind of feels like a spiritual sequel to Make My Music, but also having the Three Caballeros in there, it also kind of somewhat feels like a follow-up to that and Saludos Amigos, so it kind of brings them together as a trilogy, an unofficial trilogy in a way, and everything. So, like, these package films kind of feel like they somewhat go together in some ways, but this movie is just absolutely great. I love it. The animation is gorgeous. The songs in here for these different segments are great. The characters in them are lovable and everything. Some of them I wish I could have seen more of. I would have loved a full-fledged Pecos Bill movie and everything. I would love to see them do that as a full-fledged movie. And I think I would with the Johnny Appleseed. I mean, they don't necessarily need to have full-fledged, fleshed-out movies, but I would be more than willing to watch them if they did and everything. And this is just, out of all the movies that came out in this time period for the studio, I think this one is easily the best. And it's one that I think ranks among some of their better movies and stuff. I don't think this movie gets the credit it deserves and everything. It's kind of been forgotten in time with all these other package movies and everything. I wish that Disney would, just for old time's sake, make a package movie and stuff. Wish and the Once Upon a Studio short showed that Disney can still show love and respect for their past eras and stuff. And I would love to see them do that with these package films, and do a movie that's a package film and stuff. You don't necessarily, just don't bring in any things that make it dated and stuff that have to do with the war or anything like that. Don't do any of that. They didn't really do that with this either. They tried to. These movies haven't really aged terribly because they feel timeless and everything. But people just don't seem to get these movies as much as I do. I don't know why, but maybe it's just I'm an older soul, or maybe it's just because I grew up with some of these movies and everything. Growing up with Melody Time made the ones that I didn't grow up with easier to digest, I guess, maybe too, and that could be part of it. They're definitely not my go-to Disney movies. This isn't the best era and everything. I don't know if I'd say it's the worst era of Disney movies, but I don't know. But I don't really think I could argue with people who do say it either, though. I do get why people don't like these movies, but I personally have a lot of enjoyment out of them, especially this Melody Time movie, because Melody Time is, to me, a classic and everything. It's a really entertaining story and stuff. So, and like I said, this one and Make Mine Music especially, they make a really good double feature. And if you can just enjoy animated shorts and stuff, I think you would enjoy this movie for that and everything. So anyway, let me know in the comments what your favorite movies from Walt Disney's Wartime era is. If you want to, if you don't want to do a full ranking, tell me your favorite and least favorite. And if you want to go as far to tell me what your favorite segment out of all of these things are. Personally, I debate between Johnny Appleseed and Pecos Bill for me from Melody Time, but I really like a lot of the segments, and I think each of them at least have one or two segments that are really good. Some of them only have a couple segments and stuff like Ichabod and Mr. Toad or Fun and Fancy Free. Each of those only have two segments, but I think both segments in both of those movies are pretty good and everything. So let me know what you think are the best ones, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.